Question?
Huzur, this question also belongs to the a very important situation of understanding regarding the Arab understanding in the way of making the Islam victorious, or Ba'ath al-Islam.
Right.
There is something which I myself experience and know. We have grown up in an Islamic environment which has never taught us about the importance of the Jama'at in Islam.
That's right.
We always tend to know, and you can ask any Arabic, you will see that this is his answer. Well, al-Islam of course will be victorious, they say. We are sure of that. But what we have to do is to be true Muslims.
That's all, individually.
Yes. So you find even highly intellectual persons, doctors, teachers, engineers, and those who truly love Islam and dedicated, but you find that their understanding is that if I pray 5 times, if I fast Ramadan, if I behave like Muslim, I study the Quran, then when everybody of us does this, practice this, then the Muslim nation will be strong and victorious. Here, I have in mind a saying by Prophet Muhammad to compare with the situation. Of course, you know that when one day Prophet Muhammad said, من فارق الجماعة قيد شبر فقد خلع ربقة الإسلام من عنقه. قالوا الصحابة were very astonished, surprised. قالوا وإن صام وصلى يا رسول الله.
That's right. Yes.
قال وإن صام وصلى وزعم أنه مسلم. Would you kindly comment on this?
First to translate it into Arabic. First of all, I would like to draw the attention of all our Muslim brothers, whether Arabs or non-Arabs, to the fact that particularly the Ahmadiya Jamaat is talking of a situation where the promised Messiah and the promised Mahdi, as we believe, have come or has come. We believe they're one and the same thing. Now, first of all, I would ask a question in response to this. What do they think is the purpose of the coming of the Messiah or the advent of the Mahdi, if they believe in them? Would he come and say the prayer, read the Holy Quran, and they will say, yes, we already do, no problem. So he'll say, Assalamu alaikum, then I leave. I came in vain, unnecessary. What sort of Mahdi that would be, and what sort of Messiah that would be? Who would come, and whenever he invite a Muslim, come on, I'll tell you how to become a good Muslim. Don't I already know? Don't I have the Holy Quran? Don't I read it? Don't I say the prayer? So go your way. Leave me alone. I am already a good Muslim. What will you give me? Or this question, which is rising now in the minds and hearts of many, should have risen at the time when Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself prophesied that Messiah would come. Himself prophesied that the Mahdi would come. What for? Is the Quran not complete? Is not the Hadith enough to guide them? Is not Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah Khatamun Nabiyyin? Has he not completely told us what to do in Islam and what not to do? What for they should have asked Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah, are you prophesying about the advent of Messiah, the advent of Al-Mahdi? They seem to be redundant things, superfluous. The Quran will live forever, Hadith will live forever, your instruction, your Sunnah is eternal as far as up to the Day of Judgment. No need. Yet he prophesied. He was not asked this question. You know why? Because before building the issue of these prophecies, he himself had answered those questions. In one of those answers, he began with the answers After that, these questions became totally invalid and irrelevant. He says, سَيَأْتِي عَلَى النَّاسِ زَمَانٌ لَا يَبْقَى مِنَ الْإِسْلَامِ إِلَّا اسْمُهُ وَلَا يَبْقَى مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ إِلَّا رَسْمُهُ. What does it mean? Islam will be there, but in name. And the Quran would be there, but only in writing. People will see it written or write it in gold like some rich Muslim countries are nowadays doing to serve the cause of the Holy Quran. They are negating the instruction of the Holy Quran by writing it in gold. While Hazrat Muhammad ﷺ was not given this opportunity of having this written in gold, but these people are doing anyway. It's up to them. That's only incidental. I come to the point again. What did it mean? What did he mean? Did he mean that people would have abandoned Islam altogether? There would be no Islam but to be heard of? This is the question which arises in the mind, isn't it? When one says, لا يبقى من الإسلام إلا اسمه ولا يبقى من القرآن إلا رسمه, obviously one thinks that all the Muslims would have abandoned Islam, they would have become atheists or Christians or Hindus or Sikhs, whatever you think. But how beautifully the greatest of all prophets, the wisest of all the wise, answered this question before it was raised. وَمَسَاجِدُهُمْ آمِرَةٌ وَهِيَ أَقْرَبُ مِنَ الْهُدَىٰ. They would continue to say prayers. And not only individual prayers, ijtimai prayers. So this question is stronger, this issue is a stronger issue. It is raised more emphatically by Hazrat Muhammad ﷺ. These people say individually we are Muslims, we say prayers. The Holy Prophet said, no, even if you say prayers, ijtimai or in congregation, the mosques are filled. The problem with the mosque would be they will be empty of guidance. This is the meaning of La yabqa min al-Islam. This is the meaning of La yabqa min al-Quran illa rasmuhu. Now, when this message was delivered, people might have thought of the ulama. They would have great scholars, divine, religious divines and that. So they might have been waiting for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to guide them to these ulama. When this happens, go to your ulama and seek guidance from them. You know what he said? وَعُلَمَاؤُهُمْ شَرُّ مَنْ تَحْتَ عَدِمِ السَّمَاءِ. Where shall they go? Where on earth shall they go? At one such occasion, hearing this, the question was specifically raised. Ya Rasulullah, do you mean to say that Islam will come to an end? Because the description seems to is very horrid. It seems that everything would be lost. He said, no. How can an ummah, the ummah, come to an end? That I am at the beginning and the Messiah will be at the end. Caught between the two. Guaranteed to live at the other end because of the Messiah. And these Muslims hear this and reject this message. They fail to understand it. Once the faith has left the hearts of the people, no manner of following of the religion in form can save them, can do them any good. Even if they are united in the mosque, say prayers behind imams, still in Allah's sight they will do nothing. Only a divine man from Allah can revive the religion. Mechanically, formally, religions cannot be revived. This is what Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam understood and instructed. Where have they got the idea of becoming individual Muslims that should be sufficient? Now, is it sufficient? This is the question, the second question I'm going to raise. What is happening to the world of Islam? Is it rising step after step in the direction of the same glory from which it had stepped down over the past 1400 years? Each century saw it climbing down. A stop was applied, a break was applied every time a Mujaddid came. So he boosted the spirit for a while, but in smaller areas. He kept Islam breathing because of his holy divine example and because of his being in communion with Allah. It is a communication from Allah which purifies. So he did, but still he could not stop the rot. It went on and on. Now, do they really believe, these individuals, that they are being truly Muslims, if they call it truly Muslims, has in any way stopped this rot of the downward trend of Islam? Show me a single country in Islam which is following the Islam of Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah Sallam rightly, with the same concern for the poor, for the unfriended, serving the cause of the humanity at large, like Hazrat Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was Rahmatul Lil Alameen, not Rahmatul Lil Muslimin or Mu'mineen alone. Rahmatul Lil Alameen. Where is the Rahmat of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam being distributed? At the hands of Muslim countries. Even their own poor and destitute and deprived of that Rahmah. Nobody has a concern for anything. They're all after money. Earn money with both hands. And they are never satisfied. It's never enough. What is Islam if it is not Jamiyat? What do they mean by Wahdat? What do they understand by Tawheed? If you believe in Tawheed of God, how can you call yourself Muwahid when you're all scattered and shattered into individuals? So it's impossible for you to even call yourself a Muwahid without showing a Jamiyah on earth, which is like one person. They rise with one voice, sit with one voice. This is the Islam which Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did produce and demonstrate. Where was the individual Islam in those days? You see, the Sahaba understood the message. They knew that Tawheed is not something in the air, airy-fairy imagination. Tawheed must be displayed and demonstrated in the Ummah, or the claim is meaningless. And if the claim is meaningless, Tawheed will not bring strength. Those who call themselves Muwahideen, are they strong? As Tawheed should have made them strong. They're so weak that despite billions of dollars, oil dollars, rotting in their accounts, they are completely in the clutches of America and other Western countries. Am I telling a lie? Can any honest Arab stand up and say, no, you are not right? Every Arab would shout him down. You see, difference of religion is something else, but this is truth. All our governments are surviving with the help and support of some other foreign government which we shout down as non-Muslim and anti-Muslim and this and that. So this is Tawheed? Unbelievable, unthinkable. What is Tawheed? La ilaha illallah. And if you make other ilah, aliha, so where is the Tawheed left? So when there is not the fundamental left, how could such a people as a whole be declared as true Muslims, followers of Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? And where is that unity which you observe at the time of Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? There has to be one Imam. Hazrat Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that من ليس ہے لا ليس معرفت
من لم يعرف امام
من لم يعرف امام زمانه فليس مني or something else. No. فقد مات ماتت الجاهلية. من لم يعرف امام زمانه فقد مات ماتت الجاهلية. So if Muslims of that time are saying prayers, what does this instruction mean? Why an imam at all? Why Hazrat sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam emphasized that even when you are on a journey, if you are three, choose one imam. Have one head. And what happened at his time, I can show you an example of what Sahaba understood Islam to mean. Once Hazrat sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was delivering a sermon in the mosque, and some people were standing behind, on the border. So Huzur Akram sallallahu alayhi wa sallam didn't like this, and he said, sit down. They sat down. And another person was coming to the mosque in the street. He saw a strange thing which he had never seen before. A companion of Rasulullah sallallahu was sitting in the street and hopping like birds in the direction of the mosque. He knew he had whole legs, healthy legs. He said, what has gone to your head? Why are you behaving like this? He said, I don't know. You don't know. I heard the voice of Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu. Sit down. He said, but he meant those to sit down who are in the mosque. He said, I didn't hear that. I only heard sit down. It was for me to obey. I know nothing else. This is the Jama'ah. This is the Ummah. Is that here today? Do we see here anywhere in the world? Except in Jamaat Ahmadiyya. This is the meaning of that hadith. Again, we return to it. And that will be Jama'ah. Those who will be heavenly people, that will be a Jama'ah. Without Jama'ah, Tawheed cannot be established in the world. Right? You see, when I said Masajiduhum Amiratun, I translated it in the light of this verse. Innama yamuru masajidallahi man amana billahi wal yawmil akhir wa aqama as-salata wa ata az-zakat. In that sense, Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu said that although they would appear Amira, but without taqwa, without this, without that, this is a sign of Tamir Masjid or Imarat Masjid. Innama yamuru masajidallahi man amana billahi wal yawmil akhir wa aqama as-salata wa ata az-zakata wa lam yakhsha illa Allah. ये क्या है? असाई है ना? जी. فَأَصَا أُولَٰئِكَ أَن يَكُونُوا مِنَ الْمُعْتَدِينَ. I read that hadith in the light of this. And if we see them Amira, and Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, وَهِيَ أَقْرَبُ مِنَ الْهُدَىٰ, it means that these Amir Masajid do not have these qualities. You see?
So the verse should be understood from the point of describing these believers.
That's right.
So those believers who have these qualities can be called those who build the mosques or
they fill the mosques.
Fill the mosques, yes.
Fill the mosques, yes. more so.
Yeah, to fill, yes.
Fill the mosques with their presence. They will only be considered to fill in the sight of Allah when they are true mu'min billah wal yawmil akhir wa iqamus salat wa atu zakat wa lam yakhsha illa Allah. None of these qualities will be present in the latter days. So he said, masajiduhum amiratum wa hiya kharabu min al-huda. This is huda. And the connection between that hadith and this verse is a double bond, two connections. First, the word Amir, Yamuru, And at the end, فَأَصَىٰ أُولَٰئِكَ أَن يَكُونُوا مِنَ الْمُهْتَدِينَ. This tells us the meaning of خَرَابٌ مِنَ الْهُدَىٰ.
Yes.
If they had fulfilled these conditions, the Holy Quran says they will be مِنَ الْمُهْتَدِينَ. Ahmad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tells us they fulfilled fulfill only the first part, Imarat Masjid. As far as the remaining are concerned, if they had fulfilled, they would be min al-muhtadeen. And Hazrat Aqdas Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tells us, وَهِيَ خَرَابٌ مِنَ الْهُدَىٰ.
No.
This is, you see, the perfect bound.
Very good.
That's right. Jazakallah. Inshallah we'll meet tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum.